You've probably heard of Congress before. It's one of the three branches in the U.S. government. But what the heck does Congress actually do?
Well, I'm glad you asked. All the legislative power of the federal government is vested in Congress. There are various enumerated and implied powers of Congress, as well as powers specifically denied to Congress.
Well then, what are these powers?
That's a great question. We'll start with enumerated powers.
Enumerated powers are powers given to Congress that are stated in the Constitution.
Most of these enumerated powers of Congress are listed in Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution. Going chronologically by clauses in Article 1, Section 8, the General Welfare Clause gives Congress the power to lay and collect taxes and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the U.S. Thomas Jefferson's interpretation of this clause is that providing for the general welfare and defense justifies Congress's ability to tax.
The Borrowing Clause, as the name suggests, allows Congress to borrow money on the credit of the United States.
The Commerce Clause allows Congress to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes. This clause is very powerful because the Supreme Court has interpreted this clause to allow Congress to regulate almost anything, since almost everything is involved with interstate commerce.
Clause 4 allows Congress to make uniform rules on citizenship and bankruptcies.
Clause 5 allows Congress to coin money, which basically means regulate currency like the US dollar.
Clause 6 is closely related as it allows Congress to punish counterfeiting.
The Postal Clause allows Congress to establish post offices and post roads.
Clause 8 secures copyright and patents.
Clause 9 allows Congress to establish lower federal courts, like the federal district and appellate courts today.
Clause 10 allows Congress to define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas, and offenses against the law of nations, whatever that means.
Clause 11 through 16 all deal with the military. Chronologically, they allow Congress to declare war, raise and support an army, raise and support a navy, make rules regarding the military, to provide for calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrections and repel invasions, and provide for the organizing, disciplining, and arming of the military.
Clause 17 basically gives Congress the power to establish Washington, D.C.
And finally, the Necessary and Proper Clause allows Congress to make laws necessary and proper to carrying out its enumerated powers.
Generally, these 18 clauses allow Congress to tax, be involved with the economy, be involved with the military, establish lower federal courts, and set national standards.
But wait, you said most of the enumerated powers are in Article 1, Section 8. Where are the others?
Well, in other parts of Article 1, powers are specifically granted to each of the two chambers of Congress, since Congress is a bicameral legislature.
Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5 gives the House of Representatives the power to impeach the President and other federal officials. Article 1, Section 3, Clauses 6 and 7 give the Senate the power to actually have a trial for the impeachments and remove officials if convicted.
The Origination Clause, Clause 1 in Article 1, Section 7, requires that the House must start all revenue bills, which is basically any bill that involves taxes. The reasoning for this clause is that the people elect members of the House every 2 years compared to the 6 years for members of the Senate. This indirectly allows the people to more frequently change tax rules in case they didn't like the previous rules.
There are even other enumerated powers found in other articles in the Constitution.
Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2 gives the Senate the power to ratify treaties, as well as confirm presidential appointees.
Article 3, Section 2 gives Congress the power to change the Supreme Court's appellate jurisdiction.
In addition to enumerated powers, Congress also has implied powers, which are powers that are not explicitly stated in the Constitution.
As found in McCulloch v. Maryland, the Necessary and Proper Clause justified that Congress can create a national bank, an implied power. The combination of the Necessary and Proper Clause, along with other clauses, allow for the many necessary implied powers Congress has today. Some important examples of these powers include
Controlling immigration, having other military forces, like an Air Force and Space Force, creating a national bank, as shown in McCulloch v. Maryland, establishing minimum wage, establishing a military draft, using eminent domain, which is the taking of private property for public use with compensation, creating and regulating healthcare, criminalizing or legalizing drugs, protecting the environment, creating bureaucracies, and using congressional oversight.
Now, of course, there are also powers specifically denied to Congress in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution.
Clause 1 in this section is obsolete as it regards slavery. Clause 2 denies Congress the power to suspend the writ of habeas corpus. Except in cases involving rebellion, invasion, or public safety, people cannot be held without being formally charged.
Clause 3 denies Congress from passing bill of attainder or ex post facto laws. Congress can't punish a specific group nor punish retroactively on a crime that was legal when it was committed.
And because of the 16th Amendment, which created income tax, Clause 4 apparently now only prevents Congress from imposing federal capitations, federal taxes on land ownership, and federal taxes on private property.
Clause 5 prevents Congress from taxing state exports.
Clause 6 prevents Congress from favoring one state over another.
And finally, Congress cannot grant titles of nobility.
Dang, I totally just remember what I heard in the past 6 minutes.
Okay, I get how you probably won't remember all of this. So all you have to remember is that Congress has met the triple C's.
Military, economy, taxes, courts, copyright, and counterfeiting.
And that Congress doesn't have H bones.
Habeas corpus, bill of attainder, other taxes, nobility, ex post facto, and states.